Hello everyone and welcome back again to Rossi Mac Outdoors. Just wanted to say a big thank you again to everyone who's watched the last video. Again, your support is very much appreciated. The channel's just starting out, so any interaction we get, whether it be constructive feedback on some of the videos or some of the clips and the images and the sound, or whether that be people saying that they're enjoying the videos that I am putting out there, it is all very much appreciated. So at the end of the last video up at Buttermere, what I did say is that the conditions weren't great for putting up the tent and for getting any footage of that sort of going up and coming down. So what I am going to do today is a separate video just on the tent that I have chosen and some little tips regarding that and some little snags that I've found so far on the tent that I've been using. So one bit of advice that I would give to people that are heading out wild camping is to make sure at all times that you know where your tent is, that it is accessible within your pack. Now, I mean, whether that's after a long day's walk and against fading light or against some of the tougher conditions that you may experience here in England or elsewhere in the UK, that bit of shelter that comes in the form of a tent may be, in some instances life-saving. So for me, it's great because in the Van Gogh Sherpa bag that I have got, my larger 65-litre bag, there is a separate compartment at the bottom where I will keep the body of the tent and also my pegs separate from the rest of my gear, so I know where it is and I can get easy access to that. Now, some people that do take a smaller bag, I mean, I've seen guys on YouTube taking, sort of 35-litre day packs, but they always make sure that their tent goes in the bag as the last thing, so it's right at the top, so that when they do come to pitch up, when they reach the desired pitch, that they're not then rooting through the bag to try and find the tent and any other equipment that they need to get that shelter up. Because like I say, sometimes with the weather, especially up on higher ground, it can be very important that you get that shelter up as quickly and as safely as possible. So before I do start and get the tent pitched, I'm just going to give you a quick view and a quick overview of what the tent comes with, so how it comes packed and how I've chosen to pack it away in my bag. So the tent did actually come in a branded bag, but what I've decided to do is remove it from that bag and just put it into a dry sack, as you can see on the green bag on the left here. What that allows me to do is just pack the tent down really small. It actually becomes quite malleable, so I can fold it into it, sort of squidge it into any sort of shape that I want to get that packed away in my bag in the smallest sort of area possible. The middle bag is just the bag that it came with for the pegs. So I've got enough pegs for every sort of guy line and peg point in there, and then it's just the bag on the right just includes the poles. So let's have a go at putting this up, eh? Here we are then, folks. So the tent that I did go for is the Cloud Peak 2 by Naturehike. So as the name suggests, it is a 2-person tent. Now the tent does come with the added footprint, which is a ground sheet, which basically just gives an extra layer between you and the ground underneath, and also protects the bottom of the tent. So with that footprint included, it does weigh in at around about 2.5 kilograms. Now, some of the quick features of this tent. So as you can see, it does have 2 doors, which is great if there is more than one of you out camping. And it also has on both sides these generous vestibule areas, which are great for storing your kit, for storing your boots, or as you've seen in a previous video, for doing a little spot of cooking. They come in handy, like I say, to get your gear up and out of the wind and out of any rain that might be about. So then, after many hours of watching other people's YouTube videos and reviews, why did I go for the Naturehike Cloud Peak 2? Well, for me, the main advantage was that it's a dome tent rather than some of the tunnel tents you see on the budget market. Basically, the dome tents just allow you a bit more space. So as you can see, I'm sat up in here. I mean, I'm only 5'7", but I've still got plenty of room between me and the top of the tent, which in winter conditions or on them sort of rainy days where you're going to be spending a lot more time in the tent, I find it's really helpful to be able to sit up. Just allows you a bit of extra space just to chill out and relax. So some of the other features of the tent, I mean, the fact that it's fully freestanding. So as some of you may have picked up when I was putting the tent up, I did only use sort of 4 pegs just to peg down the 4 corners of the ground sheet. I mean, I'm only in my back garden and it's not particularly windy today. So what that means is once the poles are in, the tent then fully supports itself. So it doesn't need any more pegs or guy lines in order to sustain its shape. Which again is a big help for when you're putting it up. I mean, in battling winter conditions, you know, you can get your 4 corners in, build up from the ground, as you've seen, sort of going around, putting on 1 clip at a time to build that outer sheet. That just means that the tent is really strong against wind. As some of you saw on the last video up at bottom here, it was very, very windy and the tent stood up to the conditions really well. So just to run through a couple of quick snags that I have found whilst using this tent in windier conditions. This sort of outer that does protect the zip can become lodged and can sort of wedge into the zip, so that's just something you need to be careful of if opening and closing the tent doors, obviously while you're out using it in more blustery conditions. Again, something that I have found in the more windier weather that I experienced is that this sort of top sheet that covers and offers the waterproofing for the ventilation does become very sort of loose and very flappy, and I don't know if you can hear that, can almost sound like someone playing a drum. So what I've just done here, just for testing it, is just wrap those bungee cords around the poles a couple of times just to try and keep that tighter. I have also seen elsewhere on YouTube on a couple of reviews of this tent of people that have gone out and bought tighter bungee cords and just replaced those just to try and make that top a little bit sturdier and just stop it from flapping around so much in the wind. So overall, what do I think of this tent? I mean, for its price range, I don't believe there's sort of many tents available at the moment that come close to this in terms of its functionality for its budget. I mean, the Naturehike Cloud Peak 2 is widely available from many online retailers at around about £160. Now, like I say, for a tent in that kind of bracket, it does perform very highly. I mean, you will see some people online, such as Paul Messner, have done reviews of the functionality of the Cloud Peak 2 against a tent like the Hilleberg Soulo. I mean, you know, you're talking sort of £700 and up for a Soulo. So to have even think about those comparisons is great, and goes to show that this tent really is, you know, a budget-friendly, strong, wild camping or backpacking tent. Right, and I think that's enough of me waffling on about this tent for one day. So let's get it packed away. Right then, so that's everything packed away. What I will do when I release the video onto YouTube is I will speed the footage up a little bit of me putting the tent up and taking it down, just so it doesn't drag on too much. But when I do wrap up the video, I will give you the sort of real-time figures as to how long it's taken me to put that tent up and take it down. Bearing in mind I am still a complete novice at this game. That's sort of the 4th or 5th time I've had that tent up. So yeah, I will give you those real-time figures just so you've got an idea as to how long it may take to pitch and to take down the Naturehike Cloud Peak 2. Right then, so as I said, for those of you that are interested, it took me 7 minutes to put it up and roughly 7 minutes to bring it down, which for a 2-man tent, I mean, just goes to show how easy the Naturehike Cloud Peak 2 is to pitch and to take down. Like I said, that is sort of the 4th or 5th time I've had that tent up, so to be able to do it in 7 minutes, I'm sure I could, you know, shave a couple of minutes off that if needed, but just goes to show that it is a really sort of easy tent to pitch and to take down. So overall, in review, I would recommend the Naturehike Cloud Peak 2 for, like I say, the budget, around about 160 quid. I don't think really you can go wrong. I highlighted a couple of little snags that I've found, and anything more I do find in the future, I will make sure I check back and either add it as a comment or as a little sub video, a little edit to this video, just to keep people up to date with what I found with this tent. But overall, like I say, for the money, I think you'll struggle to beat the Naturehike Cloud Peak 2 for a beginner's sort of backpacking or wild camping tent. So that's that for this video. If you do like what you're seeing, you know, not just on this video but over the 2 previous videos, please make sure you give the video a like, add a little comment. You know, you might have a question relating to the Cloud Peak 2, or it might be anything relating to any sort of other tent. I'll always try and find the answers for you if it isn't something that is in my sort of basic beginner's knowledge. So yeah, make sure you like the video, add a comment, subscribe to the channel, and if you hit the little bell notification, you will get an alert when the next video goes live. But until then, everyone, stay safe and take it easy.
Well, if you live your life one hill at a time.